We are back. It has been busy. Hope you are doing awesome, having a great day. Today, we're going to kind of zone in on talking about how do we manage mindset, stress, anxiety, all of that can happen when there is a big, important, high stakes certification, exam, licensing. Maybe even for some people, it might be something like a big goal with like a marathon, something like that. How do we manage and prepare and go into something like that confident and managing that stress, managing that anxiety, and managing really the mindset too?
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yes, and we got prompted on this because so I'm Melissa Dillon, but I am also known as the insurance exam queen. So I have a business and a YouTube channel all focused on helping people pass the insurance exam, because if you want to become an insurance agent, you have to take and pass a test, then you can get your license, and then you can sell. Now, I love insurance because and being an insurance agent, because that's all you have to do is pass that test. There's no college degree requirement. There's not even a high school diploma requirement. You just need to be able to take and pass that exam, and then you can have a career in insurance. The median income is $52,000 a year, which is, kind of decent.
Pretty good.
And that's the median, right? Like that's the middle. So there's way more. There's a lot of 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure earners in the world of insurance. So it's a great place for people to have a career. I've seen my friend be lifted out of poverty from the insurance exam. One of the wealthiest members of our family has her own insurance agency. It's such a great way of, having a career and then helping people protect their assets, because that's what life insurance is, and even your future, Like all the time, I think my sister, she's got 3 kids, her husband makes all the money. And if he were to die, what is she going to do? And life insurance, health insurance and stuff like that is what can, solve that problem. So I'm very passionate about insurance and people, joining that career.
Yeah.
And as much as I help people with learning the material, that's kind of only half the battle, because we have the programmed and the conditioned mind that prevents us from studying well or just handling ourselves well when we feel faced to study this and be pressured, So a lot of people who come to me when they start their insurance journey, they get hired by a company who say, you have this amount of time to complete this test, and if you don't pass, you don't have a job. So it becomes a very pressurized, environment. And of course, everyone always says, let's pass the first time. But unfortunately, it takes most people 3 times to pass this exam, and then the pressure is on. Companies won't pay for multiple attempts. So then the pressure is even, bigger. So not only am I teaching these people how to understand and learn the material, I'm also combating the mindset and the oh my God, I failed and life is over, and oh my gosh, and I failed again, and I'm like, oh, this isn't meant for me, and I'm never going to get this. And that is what is preventing us from, getting it. So I wanted to, kind of focus this episode because, on the whole high stakes exam and anything, like she said, even preparing for a marathon, you've got certain things you have to do. You have numbers you have to hit. You've got times you got to hit. And you can feel pressurized to complete this, process, and you may want to give up. So we just want to talk about, what does your mindset look like? What does your body look like? What does your spirit look like when you are going through a process of a high stakes exam or a certification or GRE or whatever, LSAT, whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, and my background's medical, so a lot of us in the medical field have to pass licenses, board exams for various areas. So I'm a holistic therapist. My name is Miriam. If you don't know me, I know we're going to be kind of sharing this to some different areas. So I worked in healthcare about 12 years. My license is in occupational therapy. But the past 7 years, I actually started adding different certifications, so more tests to take in holistic health, things like holistic nutrition, therapeutic, yoga and Pilates, different things like that, to provide more modalities to my clients and patients. And then I ended up opening my own private practice. So my experience with working with clients, I work a lot on health and well-being, but what I've been seeing over many years, even when I worked in healthcare, is that if we don't address address the mental and emotional components connected to our well-being and whatever your goals might look like, whether it's a test or a marathon or whatever it is, if we don't address that mental and emotional component, it's a game changer. It can make or break your ability to actually achieve goals, maintain those goals, and actually see the results that you want to see. And of course, I've seen that in my own story, in my own life as well. So that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we tend to separate, our mindset from the things that we want to accomplish and try to use like willpower, just be like, my mind is telling me that, I'm not going to pass this exam, but I need this job. So I'm just going to do it. And then, but you're fumbling along the whole time because your mind is constantly tripping you up. So I want to address the mindset of the exam. And then Miriam can help us with any biology tips, like, what is it that we need to do for our bodies? Should we be eating breakfast? They always talk about breakfast is the healthiest meal of the day. What can we do for our bodies to get us, in a place? Because you're also, inundated with stress. Hormones pump through your body when you're stressed, and it causes things to happen that you don't want to happen.
Yeah, and actually, with the stress, when we have stress and anxiety going on, we've got the, extra cortisol and norepinephrine and all that going on. You can actually have memory glitches, like literally. And if you think about it, in any situation where you need to like survive a, crazy situation, your brain shuts down everything except what is necessary to stay alive. And just remembering facts and information is not necessary to staying alive in that moment. So as soon as your body triggers that fight or flight response, as it's called, that stress response, even however small it might be, you start having that happening, those chemical reactions going on, you can instantly have less memory capacity, instantly forget. And how many of you have been in a situation where, like, let's say you're driving down the road, someone almost ran into you or something, right? Stress response, big red flags, right? And then you forget what you're doing. You don't remember what you were trying to do. Like, where am I going right now? I don't even know. What am I doing? I don't even know, because that's the survival mode. So we have to learn to manage that. And that's some of the things that we're going to talk about. So, yeah.
Yeah. So with mindset, first we want to understand that a lot of the voices or the words that we hear in our mind are not ours. And this is obviously for people who have an internal monologue, which I think is most people. But when we go to school as children, we are told certain things. You may be, well, you're not good at math. Oh, she's not good at reading. Oh, she's not good at remembering. We get these beliefs and these ideas from, potentially well-intentioned people. And it can cause problems in our ability as adults later on to be able to complete tasks or do things. One of the biggest things that we talk about in school, and there's a big shift. When I was a school teacher, we tried to shift away from saying things like, you're not so good at math and things like that, to start saying, well, you just got to learn. Like, there's a difference between saying I'm bad at math and I can learn math, right? So it's all about this growth mindset. So a growth mindset says, instead of saying I'm bad at this and I can never do this, a growth mindset says I can learn this. I can accomplish this. It may take me a certain amount of time, but I can do this. So growth mindset is all about the belief in the idea that however hard it is, I can do it. I can get myself there. I believe my brain is able to hold this information. And you're not set in stone. You're not always bad at math. You're not always bad at tests. That's another one, is people say, I'm just so bad at tests. And I'm like, well, that's a belief that you're holding, and you may have evidence of this belief, but if we can let this belief go, if we can say, well, I just need to learn to be good at tests. I just got to, learn what it takes to be good at tests. That's a growth, mindset. So, and just like Miriam said, if you're in a fight or flight, so a lot of times, a lot of people who are studying for this exam, specifically the insurance exam, in my experience that I'm talking about, you're pressurized. You have a job on the line, and if you don't pass this exam, you will fail. And a lot of times you're in a group of 30 people who are all hired together, and they're all passing and you're failing. And then you think that you're like, oh my God, like I'm an idiot. Everyone's so smart. They all pass. I'm the failure. I'm going to lose this job. And it's very pressurized. When you sit down to go and study and your mind is like, oh my God, we're going to lose our job and then we're not going to have money and we're not going to feed our kids. And oh my God, what are we going to do? We can't pass this exam. We're so hard at tests. If that's how you go into studying, you're not going to retain much. It's going to be very difficult to absorb this, hard, complex information into your mind if you already have the gate closing it, saying this is too hard, this is too much, and I'm so scared and I'm so terrified. What I encourage people to do is to be excited about studying, to be excited about taking this exam, and it shifts your mindset and opens you up to be able to study and learn more. If before, and I actually have recorded an audio, kind of like a meditation sort of thing, that you listen to before you study. And I even tell my people, listen to it every day before they study. And it basically says, I'm excited to learn. I know my brain will open up. I know that I will receive this information. I know that I will be able to retain it. I know that when I go to take this exam, I'll be able to share all the information that I learned. And it's just kind of reprogramming and reframing our minds from telling us, I'm so bad at tests. I'm never going to learn this. This is too much pressure. Oh my God, I can't do this. I'm so dumb. To I'm excited, I can learn, I can accomplish this, I can get it done. And that's like that mindset shift that we want to make, because anything about, I'm bad at tests, or this is too hard, or I'm going to fail is a belief system. And what you believe to be true will show up to be true. Your brain will find evidence of it. Our brain loves to provide us evidence of what we believe to be true. And you can make a new belief. I have made multiple new beliefs in my own life. I shedded a lot of beliefs about how I was supposed to look, how I'm supposed to act, how I'm supposed to dress, how I'm supposed to be as a woman, how I'm supposed to be, making money. I shedded all these beliefs and I instilled new ones. I can dress how I want. I can act how I want. I can look how I want. I can make money how I want. And that's how I've been living my life. And it's been very wildly successful with the Insurance Exam Queen. Yeah. Nobody's telling me I can't have pink and yellow hair, because it's my own business, right? And when you begin to create a belief system that serves you better, you're able to find the evidence better, and it feels so much better. So the biggest thing that
is it okay if I share a quick tidbit?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Super, nerd over here, if you can't already tell. So that's actually called the reticular activating system in our brain, that our brain looks for what we believe to be true. And just a very simplified example is if you're going to a closet and you're looking for the red socks, your brain is looking for the red socks, okay? Because that's what you believe that you need. Your brain is focused on that. So are you going to see the purple socks and the blue socks? Is your brain going to remember and retain the blue socks, the purple socks, the green shoes, the whatever else is in the closet? No, because your brain is looking for the red socks, okay? And that's a very simplified example of how it works with our beliefs and our mindsets. And as we're going into any type of situation, but especially a high stakes situation like an exam or a license, our brain is going to look for what it believes to be true. And if that is, I'm bad at tests, or fill in the blank, whatever that is, that's going to be a huge blockage. And I love that you said like opening the gate, closing the gate kind of thing, because it's a great analogy is thinking of it as a door or a gate in our mind. When we allow our brain to go down that pathway of, if I fail, blah, 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 or I'm not good at this, blah, 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 blah. If we go down that, we're opening the door for our brain, our thoughts, our behaviors, our patterns, our emotions, and all the chemical reactions in our brain and our body to go in that same direction of that belief and that thought, right? But if we recognize, oh, this is not a good path, and we close the door and we say, nope, I'm not allowing that. That's not today. We're going to go this way. And it takes practice to recognize it, intentionally imagine closing that door and then saying, nope, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to go this direction because this is going to be more helpful for me and good for me. And I can grow. I'm learning. I can do this. I am capable. I am smart. I am, and you intentionally push yourself in that direction. Your thoughts, behaviors, emotions, and chemical responses will then go in that direction. So that's just a little.
And another example, with the brain and the belief system is also like you can be, I forget the word for it, but like you could be in a crowded room and someone, shouts the name Miriam. I'm not going to hear it. because it's not my name. Someone says, Melissa, I am tuned in. I hear that out of a crowd. Even, like our brains are trained to go to what we know is true or what we already have evidence of, or, just what we're trained to do. I am trained to hear the name Melissa, when I'm in a crowd, and my brain will do that. Or even, like you say, oh, I never see a Prius. But then I bought a Prius and suddenly I see Priuses everywhere. Like we put them into our focus because they become a thing. So it's like whatever you put your time and attention on, it's going to grow. You're going to see more evidence of it. So if you say, I can't study very well, I'm going to fail this exam, you're going to find evidence of that. You're going to find evidence of struggling to study. You're going to find evidence of failing. But when you switch that belief system to say, I can learn, I can grow, I can get this information, you're going to find evidence of it. You're going to see the light bulbs go off. You're going to feel better. Even just simply feeling good, right? Like so many people feel bad when they study. They feel bad that they don't have the job already. They feel bad that, whatever, like I now have to study, I have to do this thing, I have to prove it, and you just come in with a bad feelings, it's going to make anything you do harder, right? If you don't feel well, like there were times, if I'm like having a conflict with someone, your spouse, your parents, whatever, sometimes that conflict can just take over everything. There were days I couldn't function at work because I was too busy in my mind over this, conflict. I wasn't feeling good and I wasn't producing good results. But when we can just feel good, we can get, better results. So, that kind of comes in, a lot with the mindset, because our mind will dictate how we feel. If we keep feeding ourselves, negative thoughts, we're going to feel negative. If we feed ourselves positive thoughts, we'll feel positive. And I don't mean like fake positivity, like, oh, everything is just magical. Although I do say that all the time, but like, I don't mean like just think good thoughts. Like that's not what I'm saying, but think a slightly better thought than the one you have. Yeah. So just move a little bit up. I like to do neutral even. Like if you're like, I can't, I'm going to fail this exam, and the positive, I will pass the first time. Can we just take a neutral of I can study and take an exam? Like, just kind of remove the whole, negative side of it, the positive side of it, just say I can study and take a test. Just keep it at that. And whatever the result is, so.
Or I am learning, I am making progress, I am moving forward. I'm making progress. Little things like that, where it's not necessarily like a out, off the charts, like everything's perfect and amazing. Like, maybe that's not realistic. Okay.
Oh, I got some room to grow. Look at my score sheet. It looks like I need to hit state laws again. Like, I have a lot of people too who they'll score like a 58. You need a 70 to pass. So they'll score like a 58. I tell them, what to study. The next time they take it, they get a 65. Now they have jumped 8 points, but what they focus on, I still fail. It's a fail. I failed. I'm like, you grew 8 points. You only need to do that one more time and then you're passing. Right. And in fact, this time you only need, 3, whatever the points is, I forget my numbers, but instead of focusing on the failure, focus on the fact that you gained points and that you can do that again. You just do it again. Look, I just did it. I only have to do it one more time and boom, I am passing. Yeah. Like that should be our mindset instead of, oh, I failed. This is more evidence that I'm a failure. I'm going to keep failing and I might as well just give up because I'll always fail. Yeah. Like if that's the mindset, you will always fail. Yeah. And the mindset, I can learn, I can grow, I can adapt, I can evolve, I can put in the work, I can figure this out. That's the kind of positive mindset. I'm not saying like positive as in, oh, I'm definitely going to pass the first time and I'm going to knock everybody's socks off. I mean, if you can have that belief, do that. But just simply saying, I can learn, I can grow, I can adapt. That is a more positive mindset than I'm going to fail, I can't study, this is too hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even just the thoughts and beliefs around the word fail too. Like failure is almost a misnomer, because people, if you go read about, study anyone who's been successful in their life, like authors, inventors, people who've done incredible things, they actually had a lot of quote unquote failures in their life. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, He quote unquote failed 2,000 times trying to make the light bulb. And somebody asked him, well, how did you feel about that? He's like, oh, I didn't fail. I just learned 2,000 ways that didn't work. Like failure is another word for learning. We are learning what is working, what's not working. We are learning, do we need to pivot and shift and do it a different way? We are growing, we're learning and growing through that, whatever you want to call it, however you want to label it, but it's not really failure because it's not the end. It's not the end unless we die, basically. That would be the end, kind of.
Yeah. Failure to me is a resource. It lets me know what I need to adapt, what I need to change, how I need to pivot, not that I need to end it all because I failed. And one of the things that I talk about with people too is if you're going to be an insurance agent or whatever your job, especially if you're in a sales type job, you're going to go out, you're going to make a sales pitch, you're going to talk to people, you're going to tell them how you're going to insure them, you're going to tell them how you can protect their assets, how you can make sure that their kids have money. And they're going to say, no, I don't want it. No, I don't want it. No, I don't want it. You might have a whole week where every single person turned you down and said no. And if that's your job, if this is your career, are you just going to be like, oh, this was a week that indicated I should never do this again? Or are you going to get back up the next week and find more, prospects to sell to? In order to be successful, you have to be able to handle the rejection. You have to be able to handle the times where sales are not coming in. You have to be able to handle what it requires of you to say, I'm still getting up and doing it again. Like it isn't over. So for people who have to take this exam multiple times, what I tell them is you are preparing to be a 6-figure, 7-figure insurance agent. And you are learning what it looks like to experience rejection and what it looks like to get up and do it again, because you're gonna have to do that. You're gonna have days where there are no sales. And does that mean you quit forever and go back to some other boring very low income job? Or are you gonna say, I want this high income job, I want to be able to protect people, I want to have this amazing income? Because there's so many opportunities in insurance where you sell a policy today and it becomes your retirement money later. So like you're not just making an income now, you're building a retirement income depending on how you set it up. So
I love the analogy of cupcakes. Is it okay if I share that? It's kind of a funny, very simplified analogy, but you think of like a server or someone who is offering people dessert, cupcakes or pie or whatever, right? And they go around and they're offering people cupcakes, and it's an amazing, delicious, cupcake, freshly made and all the things, right? But there are some people who are going to say, no, thanks, I'm good, I'm full, it's not the right time. Maybe they don't like vanilla, or they don't like chocolate, or they're allergic to something, There's going to be a lot of people who say no, but there's a few people who are like, oh my gosh, yes, that's amazing. Same thing, some people will use the analogy of a server coming around offering to refill people's coffee, right? Sometimes they're not done with the cup that they had before, or they don't like it, or they need decaf, or, whatever there's so many reasons, and you just, oh, okay, it's not a big deal. You just keep moving forward. And, because we partner with, a company where we talk about this too. We have to learn that it's not personal. This is, a normal process where our worth, what we're doing, the purpose, the reason that we're doing what we're doing is not based on what someone else thinks, feels, or believes. It's based on what we know to be who we're supposed to be, and that this is important, and this is our purpose, this is our calling, or whatever you want to call it. And it's not a personal, I don't even see it as a personal rejection, because in reality, most people, when they're saying no to something, whatever it might be, it's not necessarily because of you. It's because of their own things. Like, they're not thinking, I'm going to reject you. They're not thinking that. They're thinking, I am feeling blah, blah, blah. I am dealing with blah. They're thinking about what they have going on. It's not a personal thing. It's not a personal rejection. It's just what they have going on. It's just not the right thing, the right time, or whatever,
Yeah, we definitely take a lot of things personal. Even failing the exam personal. Like people are like, oh, it's me, I'm stuck, I'm so bad. I'm like, well, they make it hard, Like,
It's not easy.
it's
Yeah.
not, and
Yeah.
most people need a minimum of 3 attempts to be able to pass. Although
Mhm.
anyone who has signed up for my Royal Treatment package to work with me one-on-one has passed the exam the first time every time. So if you're into that, let me know. But most people, will need, multiple attempts. And, the other thing is it's a mindset. Like, what is so cool with insurance is you can have, I went to get a 4-year college degree to make 40,000 as a school teacher. I spent 4 years and a ton of money to be able to get a $40,000 a year job. With insurance, you take one test one time that takes about 2 weeks to a month of study time to get done, and you're now making more than a school teacher who had to do a college degree and 4 years. So it's
Right.
just again, focusing on the excitement, the possibility, and the opportunity and the ease of becoming an insurance agent instead of all the fear and the doubt and the worry. What are some things, Miriam, especially because I know you love oils, what are some things we could do while we're studying to either calm our bodies down, or is there any like scent anchors or anything like that you would recommend for studying focus, clarity, or anything?
Yeah, there's definitely some things that we can do biologically and physically that will support our brain and our body in focus, attention, memory, and better modulating. When we do feel a little anxious, overwhelmed, or stressed or something like that, we can manage that a little bit better. So it's all about your routines, your rituals, your routines, and your preparation going into anything important like this, and especially with a license exam and things like that. So, or studying, when you're approaching the studying, like you said, your memory will retain more if your brain and your body are in a calm, relaxed state. So you've got to make sure, like, whatever else was going on that day, that you shift your brain and your body into a calm, rest and digest mode. You transition your brain, your nervous system, your central nervous system, from a fight or flight from your crazy day into more of a rest digest mode. So there's lots of things that you can start to implement. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. Some things I highly recommend deep breathing. You can look up, there's lots of great blogs and things like that that show different ways of deep breathing techniques. And it's not, no, that's hyperventilating, okay? So you're always focusing on getting a nice, good oxygen stream coming in. So usually you're breathing in through your nose in some capacity. Nice, deep breath, and then kind of slowly regulating and releasing. Usually when you're activating your rest and digest mode, your calming and soothing mode, it's going to be slow and methodical, whatever way that you're going to be doing that. And you're releasing the stress and the tension that you've been holding on to from the rest of your day and whatever else has been going on that day or that week. So you're intentionally in with the good, out with the bad, out with the tension. I do restorative yoga sessions, so we do a lot of that. You're doing the same when you pair that together. There's literally a phenomenal thing that happens when we bring together mind, body, soul together, the mental, emotional, and physical together. Our body and our brain are meant to work together, okay? But we separate them so often without even realizing it. So you're bringing together your deep breathing. You can close your eyes so you reduce that visual distraction, the visual chaos of whatever the laundry that needs to be done or wherever you are, whatever's going on. You've got to reduce that. You take your deep breath so you're getting great oxygen to your brain and your body, right? And then you are going to manage your thoughts, okay? So we know this is that mindset. You're going to be rejecting the beliefs that are not helping you, that are not propelling you in the direction that you want to go, and you're going to push your mind in the direction that you need to go. However, you're able to do that, like Melissa said, finding even just neutral thoughts and beliefs to focus on. I am learning, I am growing, I can do this, I'm going to remember, I'm going to grow, I'm going to get one step closer to that goal, to that vision, to that purpose that I know I'm supposed to do. And another thing, especially when you're feeling that tightness, anxiety, fear, overwhelm, stress welling up, a lot of times we kind of feel that physically, but it's also mental. You can implement these deep breathing, and you can also write down or say things like, I am okay. Everything's going to be okay. Last time I felt this, everything did work out. Maybe not in that instant, but it did work out, right? You survived. You're okay. I'm okay. It's going to be okay. Everything worked out last time. Everything's going to work out this time. No matter what happens, I'm moving in the right direction. I am growing, I am learning. So you can find those types of affirmations, if you will, beliefs and statements. I love to use personally scriptures. So if you're someone that likes to do that, you can use scriptures and Bible verses and things like that. Whatever it is for you that's going to bring you in that direction that you need to go. So that is, mental, physical, and emotional. And then getting more into the biology of it, we also need certain essential nutrients and things for our brain. So I do work with aromatherapy a lot as well. Things like your frankincense is high in sesquiterpenes. So that actually oxygenates your brain and your body. So even just smelling or using things that are high in those sesquiterpenes, frankincense, cedarwood, there's a few different ones, like you can Google it. Make sure you're using high quality. Don't use the crappy ones. They have like lead in them and stuff. So make sure you get good quality. Okay. And you can utilize those things. You can also utilize calming ones. So obviously we want the oxygen going on, and things like that are very woodsy are grounding as well. They tend to calm and ground us, which is calming our central nervous system. Okay. So you can utilize those ones. And then you can also utilize the ones that are generally just relaxing and help our brain produce serotonin and help balance out those neurotransmitters a little bit. Like we've got, there's lots of fun blends like peace and calming, stress away. Lavender is a common one that people love. Everyone's kind of different on what they love. So you find those ones that really for you help calm and soothe and bring your central nervous system into that calm state. That's what you want. You want that calm state. You can also do things like go outside, get some fresh air, take a walk, get some sunshine, some vitamin D. Make sure you're getting good vitamin D. Specifically, make sure you're getting a supplements at high quality D3. A lot of supplements out there have D2. Your D3 helps your body balance and produce good amounts of serotonin, actually clinically shown to help with anxiety and those feelings of overwhelm and stress. So make sure you're getting that. And then a few nutrients that are really important biologically. I hope this isn't too overwhelming. If you're someone that's like, I need this all written down, just say me here and I'll get you like a typed up version that has this information for you. Okay. So if you need that, just say me and let me know. Okay. So you want to look for your foods and your nutrients that are going to fuel your brain to function at its absolute best and help the body manage cortisol. What you are eating, what you're bringing into your body can either improve your ability to control and manage your stress and cortisol, or decrease your ability to manage and control that cortisol and other stress hormones. So you want to look for foods that have your phosphodiesterine, okay, that's long, but basically you want to look for your legumes, okay, your nuts, seeds, and legumes. Those are going to have those essential aminos that you need for your brain and your body to function better.
Are the cashews legumes?
Yes, cashews. Here it actually lists soybeans, so depending on the person, look for something that you like that works for you. There's a couple others. I'll give some examples and some more examples in a minute. The next one is glutamine, looking for foods that are high in glutamine. So actually cheese is pretty high in glutamine. There's a couple other things as well. L-theanine, things like, L-theanine, things that like green tea, ginkgo biloba, we've heard of that, aloe vera. So these are more usually your herbs, things like basil and rosemary actually utilize or have a lot of the L-theanine as well. So often I would recommend to look for a tea, and then there's food grade essential oils too that you can utilize. You can put it into something like a tea or whatever you're making and get those nice L-theanine, things that are high in antioxidants. Your body needs that to function at its highest level. So of course your good vitamin C, your citrus fruits, your high antioxidant foods, the things that are rich in vibrant colors, that's going to be your antioxidants. So just eat a nice rainbow of colors, right? Your rich, your berries, your greens, your vitamin C, your citrus, and all of that. That's going to help your brain and your body function at its best. And then actually fatty acids, our brain needs to function, actually needs certain fatty acids to function at its best. And so things like salmon can be great. Also, anything that has that DHA in it. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, things like avocado have some of that as well. Salmon, and there's a couple of others. I think there's actually some other seeds, like I believe it's sunflower seeds that have some of that as well. So looking for those types of foods can be really, really helpful. And then there was one other one that gave some more examples. In eggs. Eggs is another one that has the aminos and some of the DHA as well. So that's going to hit 2 of those categories for you. Other nuts and seeds, sunflower seeds, walnuts specifically listed here, and tahini, which is actually in hummus, but you can get things that have tahini in them in other ways. And then in the antioxidant category, of course, are greens. We know broccoli. If you don't like broccoli, find something else that's rich in green that you can tolerate, or put it in a smoothie or whatever. Your avocados, bananas, blueberries, those types of things. And under that antioxidant category, actually, onions and garlic are really, really helpful, even though you might not smell amazing, but they're so good for our brain. They actually improve our circulation as well. So you're going to be getting those oxygenated blood cells more to your brain. That is another thing to think about. So that's kind of the nutritional biological element. Again, if you want it in writing, let me know. I completely understand. And then movement, okay? Stretch and move, because you want to get good circulation flowing. When you stretch and you move, you get endorphins pumping, which means it's managing that cortisol and increasing our serotonin, our oxytocin, and our dopamine, which all improve happy, calm, focused modes in our brain. So you want to make sure you're doing that. Move, stretch, whatever you need to do. Some people like to jump up and down 50 times and get that going. Get the juices flowing, if you will. Some people say that, right? People who go on stage and speak in front of like thousands of people, they do these things. This is what they do before they go and they do these big important things, right? So you can do that for your studying, for your exam, for your, if you're running a marathon, whatever. Think about what people do to prepare for a marathon, right? They don't just wake up one day and have like a crazy day and be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go run a marathon tonight. No, it's months of preparation, if not more. And they're looking at nutrition. They're working on their mindset. They're training their body, right? Same thing for something like a test, an exam, a license, those kinds of things. We're preparing our brain and our body for something really important, right? So all of these things are so, so important. Move, stretch, get that oxygen flowing right before you're studying. And even throughout studying, I recommend every hour to get up and do the deep breathing, close your eyes, refresh, work on that mindset, stretch, move, something that you can do. Go take a quick walk outside, come back to your studying. Your brain's going to retain more information that way. Like statistically showing in studies, our brain actually holds on to more information when we do that frequently throughout our studying time, okay? Trust me, I had to do a medical school program, and I needed to do this stuff like a lot, because we had like over 30 credits of information in 8-week sections. So like if you think about it, most people in most college, you're doing, I think it's like about 15 to 18 credits a 12-week, like, or how many weeks is a whole semester? A whole semester, whatever that is, 3 or 4 months, there's like up to 18 credits. Like double that, more than double that in less than half of the amount of time. Okay. Wow, so learning how to study, and I have dyslexia, okay, and ADD. So if you need tips, just reach out. I've tried all of the things you can possibly imagine, okay? Trust me, okay? So yeah, so you need those essential nutrients. I do have a couple recommendations for like multi-mineral complexes and things that can help the brain and the body that have these things in there too. If you just want to like be able to swallow some capsules that just have it kind of in there, there's that too. So if you need recommendations, I can give you tips on that. And it's really important for me personally, as you might have noticed already, a little on the ADD side there. So all the brain support is really, really important to me for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a good starting point. Hopefully that's helpful for you guys.
Yeah. So we talked about the mindset, which is having a growth mindset, you know. So instead of saying, oh, I'm bad at studying, I'm going to fail, you say, I can study, you know, I can learn. And then we talked about the biology, like Miriam, you know, just talked about, you know, eating foods that are good for your brain, with, you know, the D3, the vitamins that you need, stuff like that. And then the breathing, make sure that when you do that deep breath, your belly is moving, not your chest.
Imagine a balloon in your belly, like fill up the deep abdominal breath there.
The breathing needs to be from the belly, not the chest. And that's a calming, that if you're breathing from your belly, it signals to your body and your mind that you are safe. And when you are taking a high pressurized exam, your body feels unsafe because we are still biologically wired like caveman that says a tiger is outside your door, be on alert at all times. And this high pressure exam is a modern day version of the tiger at the door. So our body has literally a physical response as if we're about to be eaten alive just because of this high pressured exam. So when you can breathe from your belly, it's sending signals to your body that you are indeed very safe. You're not running, you're not in danger, and that it can calm down with those chemicals. So now let's talk about, because biology, the soul is all about mind, body, and spirit or soul. So let's talk about the soul or spirit side of, you know, taking this high stakes exam. Whether, you know, Miriam definitely follows more of, you know, Christianity, the Bible. I'm more of like woo-woo, like energy, source, you know, universe. But ultimately, whatever your belief system is, you know, we're here, you know, to feel good. And whatever dream or desire that you have, you know, within you, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, you know, that is supported divinely, whether it is through your God or through, you know, the universe. And, you know, just a spirit of wellness that whoever it was that created us, however it was that we developed, it's seeking goodness, it's seeking fun, it's seeking joy. And, you know, like when we allow ourselves to embrace that, instead of thinking, you know, this mindset of, you know, like I have to work hard, I have to do all these things, and you know, life is hard for me and things don't work out for me, you know, just like trusting and believing, like maybe things can be different, just kind of opening yourself up, like, what if I am divinely supported to accomplish my dreams? What if this is what God wants me to do? You know, if this opportunity was presented to you, there's a reason. You know, so just kind of trusting and believing that, you know, this is meant for you, or, you know, that this is part of your journey, and to embrace it without the negative thought patterns or belief systems that, you know, can terrorize it. And I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that, Miriam.
Yeah, that's great. It's so true. That belief, or as we sometimes call it, faith, trusting that you were created for a purpose and this time. And I truly believe that things that come into our path that we feel strongly and passionately about, that's not for no reason. There is a reason. Think about, and oftentimes I encourage a lot of clients that I work with too, it's not only is it our passion, and usually our passions are closely interconnected to our purpose, although we may not see what it fully looks like, the full picture all at once, right? Taking those steps in that direction is going to, just imagine, it's getting you one step closer to understanding your full capacity and your full purpose. It is a journey though, right? And just like any journey, there's ups and downs, and there are going to be challenges. It's not like a magic wand, you know. If you're climbing a mountain, that's amazing, and you know that the view at the top is so incredible and breathtaking, but there's, you know, things on the way, and you're climbing and you're working, and there's obstacles and there's boulders and there's whatever's right on the way up. Okay, same thing with our belief about our purpose and these passions, that when you feel passionate about something, that's a great indicator that's telling you this is connected to your purpose in some way. And then beyond even your purpose, how many people's lives can you impact? Okay, as you are on that journey and you're working towards that, and you're trying to hold on to that belief and not allow fear to take over, not allow the difficult things to take over, remind yourself, I'm going to make such an incredible impact on so many people's lives by doing this. However long it takes me, whatever the journey might look like, I know Start to hold on to that, remind yourself of that, believe that, have faith in that, there's a reason you're passionate about this. This is connected to your purpose, and that purpose allows you to impact so many people's lives for better. Right?
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to, because, that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's things that we do to help our families, but we wouldn't keep going if it wasn't also connected to a greater purpose and impacting people's lives.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And that's a lot of what I had to do to become the insurance exam queen. I still had programmed and conditioned beliefs that I needed a secure job with a secure paycheck and health insurance, or else the world was going to end. That's how scary it felt to break off on my own and to do this. Yeah. So I've faced all of this, myself, in a way of, believing that I'm meant for something bigger, better, something that is more fulfilling. It's not fulfilling to go into a corporate office 9 to 5 to serve their needs without needing my own, right? It's more fulfilling to do something that I love, that I have fun with. I can create my schedule. I can create, how it is that I do things, and, the money flows in. And that's the kind of opportunity you can have with insurance. There are 9 to 5 jobs with insurance. I had some myself, and they're great, starting places. But and then there are many that offer, simply just hourly. They do kind of limit you to some extent, but there's some that have tons of commission available. You can work for yourself. You can work in an office. You can work remote, which is, again, why I love this opportunity so much, and the freedom lifestyle that it can bring. A lot of the insurance agents that I follow either are on cruises every other day. They're flying around to different conventions. One of them, Melissa D. Hall, is on TV shows all the time, news stuff. I'm like, how's the insurance? You're either on cruises, you're on TV shows, you're at conventions. Like, when are you guys working? And they're like, just a couple days a week. One of my first Royal Treatment clients, he was a financial advisor, and the company had sent him to work with all the insurance agents, and he's advising them on their finances, seeing how they're making all of this money and spending most of their day on their golf course. He's like, I need that. And he immediately signed up to get his insurance license. He said, my job is so dumb for sending me out there, because now I'm going to leave them and go become an insurance agent, because he's like, I cannot believe how much they spend their time golfing. And that's the thing with, with insurance is, if you're new, we're talking about any high stakes exam, but I'm the insurance exam queen. So this is my wheelhouse, and this is, what it is. Yeah. If you, and maybe this is sparking you or inspiring you, if you're unrelated to this at all, but now you're watching this, you're like, maybe I want to, do insurance, is search insurance agents on Facebook, on LinkedIn, whatever. See what kind of lifestyle they're living. See what kind of businesses they're doing. See how it is that they're making it work, and find the one that you love, and then copy their system. Do what they're doing. Sell what they're selling. Ask to work for them, because in insurance, it really is a place where you get to pick. And that's what makes it so beautiful. That's why I promote it so much, because I believe we should be able to pick, how it is that we function, how it is that we live our life, how it is that we work, how it is that we earn our money. And I just, truly see and believe how insurance is such a great opportunity for that. And plus, you're helping other people. I know a lot of us struggle sometimes with insurance and premiums and stuff like that, but you have a car accident, it's completely taken care of. If you've ever been in a car accident where you have a big old car loan and that car is destroyed, you're like, thank God I have insurance. Oh my gosh, that would have been awful. Somebody in the family dies. What are you going to do? Life insurance is what takes care of that. Cancer diagnosis, health insurance is what takes care of it. It's simply peace of mind. Yeah. It's peace of mind. It's comfort for the future. It's knowing that if something bad happens, you're going to be protected, and you get to sell that protection to people. You get to, protect their assets, protect their future, make sure that their children, grow up with, they then losing a parent. I'm gonna, if my sister and her husband were to die, those 3 children are mine. And to know that both of them have life insurance, so that I have more than enough money to be able to suddenly take on 3 children, is like, it's not so scary,
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what's available, with life. So anyway, I'm getting all preachy about insurance because I love it.
That's so good. Yeah, one of the companies that I partner with, is one of the main things is financial freedom, that sense of freedom, and that's what is part of being, being able to do that as an insurance agent. It's so important, and that it gives that peace of mind. I love that you said that, because having peace of mind is worth the whole world, really, right? At the end of the day, if you think about it, on days when you don't have peace of mind, like, functioning is hard, right? So if you can have that sense of peace about your family, about your insurance, or about your job and your own financial freedom, that's priceless, absolutely invaluable. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, this is awesome. We definitely hit the mind, body, soul for, high stakes exams. We got some great information about fueling our brains, changing our thoughts, feeling good. And so this was amazing.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll let you guys go. Hopefully we get to see you next week on our Biology of the Soul, and stay tuned. We'll be getting more of this up on the YouTube channel as well. More fun things coming your way. So we'll see you later.
And as the insurance exam queen, I'm sending you all the loves and all the vibes to pass your exam.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Take care.